Hey, it's Matt Haynes. Welcome back to my video channel, and I appreciate you stopping by. And in this episode, I am continuing to work on 3 paintings that I started in an earlier video. And I gotta warn you, things get pretty ugly. That's the process. A lot of the time, though, we start off with something that feels like a good idea, and then it starts to evolve, and maybe it evolves into a direction we didn't want to go to. But the nice thing about when it becomes ugly is that it's the seed of something beautiful. And I can already see where these things are going. And so you get to see the process from, from those first scratches on board to where it goes overboard. And it's going to come out the other side. So please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, click that thumbs up button. And here we go. In my last video, I had started 3 paintings. They're on plywood board, 3/8 inch thick, sanded and gessoed on both sides, but 3 coats on the good side. And so got them started, and then in between that video and this video, I added some more white paint in the white areas, and also got out some acrylic markers. These are acrylic ink markers. These ones were empty and I filled them with acrylic ink, but I also have some pre-filled ones, and just added some splotches of color, little sprinkles and things like that. Now I gotta say that acrylic markers, I love them. And that's a problem because they're really addictive to the point where I sometimes overdo it. And fortunately, I didn't overdo it here. Just little splashes of color, and got my utility knife blade out and got some texture going there. So these are a little more evolved than in the previous video, but not a whole lot. All of these paintings are sort of vignetted. They've got white borders around them, as you can see there, which I'm going to get rid of. So I'm going to extend some of the black. This is probably just going to be a layer of black this time, so I'm going to get started. I buy paint in larger quantities and then fill up these little generic plastic bottles and label them, and that way I can carry them with me, and can just squirt them on. Might not even use the palette again. That's one of the things I love about the acrylic paint markers too, is that there's no mess, no fuss, as they say. You just uncap it and you can start. So that's kind of the idea here too, without having to, if I don't need to mix paint, then if it's coming right out of the bottle, then great. Okay, so this shape here is interesting. I like this. It was inspired by tree branches from a recent hike in it was Rice Canyon and Wills Canyon in Ojai, California. And so that's where these curvy shapes come in, but I need to move them along here. So I feel like this is going to go up here. Maybe this is going to go around here. These might join. Let's see what happens. So I'm just going to put some paint directly on. I'll start there. Let's see, pick out some random brush. I'm very selective with my brushes, as you can tell. And we're just going to extend that out like that. Something along those lines, maybe like that. Trying to get all the way to the edges. You're looking at that and go, wow, that's too much. But we're gonna knock it back. So we're gonna pull in the edges like this. We can scrape it almost completely off if we need to. Okay, just put some lines here, following the major line here, and need a little paint over here, right? Just to bring these black shapes up a little bit. Now, what I could do is just leave it, and that's not very inspiring there. But instead, I'm gonna get some yellow ochre, and I'm gonna allow it to mix in with the black a little bit. I had, this is acrylic ink. This was actually, I mixed this yellow ochre up myself, so it's not going to match this exactly, but you know, it's yellow ochre, so who cares. And I'm just going to find some strategic spots, maybe something like that. And I'm going to do a palette knife with this because I've already got some scratches and stuff in here, and I'm going to just maintain that. Let's see what happens here. So the black and the ochre are mixing a little bit. And we'll scratch into it again, like so. Now I gotta admit, I liked it better before than what I'm looking at right here, but paintings go through stages. I would rather it be ugly now rather than amazing, because if it were amazing, I would keep going and ruin the amazing, and then I might get stuck. So it's okay to have it ugly. Just keep going until it's not ugly anymore. That is the secret, my friends, to painting and to art in general. Just keep going until it stops being ugly. All right. Put that one aside. It can go be ugly in the corner. Who's up next for the ugly fest here? I'm gonna work on the, well, okay, so this was Payne's Gray accidentally, but I'm going to, since I've got black going on anyway, I'm gonna layer black on here over the Payne's Gray, which is just a, you know, a bluish black color. And again, I'm just taking things to the edge here a little bit. Maybe, let's see. I like how these lines are going up here. Maybe I'll have a big black section up that way. Like so, but not, and we'll bring it down here. And I'm going to connect that a little bit. Something like that. And at this early stage, the composition is really just, it's evolving, and it's not, there isn't a plan for that. It's more like it's experimenting and seeing what happens, and the composition just sort of evolves. All right, and so I have some burnt sienna going on there. I have some blue. I'm not gonna mess with the blue, but maybe throw some more burnt sienna on here, just on top. As you can see, I'm still sticking, not just like throwing it in the white area, right? I'm sort of keeping it around the edges. I'm just gonna see, I've got some yellow ochre on this palette knife, and see what happens. Mix this in a little bit. Okay, and let's see. Right now you can't see me, but I am squinting my eyes to get a general sense of the shape here, and I'm gonna do that just to shake things up a little bit. It's getting a little, I don't know, precious. Okay, and then I've got this glob up here. I can't just leave that glob there, can I? Okay, I'm gonna go up this way. And now, again, get into an ugly stage early, you know, go ugly early or go home or something, I don't know. But the next layer that I do on this will be white, where I'm going to knock back a lot of this stuff, and then new shapes and configurations will occur. So let's set this one aside. You can see there's got some pretty lumpy textures in there too, which is going to be nice. I like this right here. This is cool. It'd be nice if it were on white more, though. That will probably get obliterated, but it's little accidents like that. Mental note, whoosh, go like that more. And I know we've got this one here. This one I'm actually a little worried about. Well, it's either some sort of monster legs, badly drawn tree. I don't know what that is, so let's do that one because I won't be weighed down by associations. Okay, so what I'm worried about is this green here, because acrylic ink markers, great, you know, it dries and all that, but I also bought this set of, it's called On the Run is the market, the company. This is alcohol marker rather than acrylic. And I don't know if it's going to stay where it's supposed to stay when I hit it with more paint. Is it going to smear all over? I don't know. So we're going to find out together. Because I have only ever put it on top of things before and then been done, you know, just like as a little flourish at the end. And here now it's kind of going on first thing. Fortunately, we're using black, so if it does get smeary, it's not that big a deal, but I guess this will tell me for future use too. I haven't used them that often. And so, you know, again, we have the vignetting, which I'm trying to get rid of. I think I want to start with a black, you know, black border all the way over here, or most of the way over here. All right. Well, I'm trying to get rid of the obvious edges that were made by brushes. You know, just trying to, and as this builds up, as I make multiple layers of black and white and those edges, they get more complicated and they get really interesting. Maybe, you know, I'm going to do this little stripe down here first just to see. Ooh, wow, that was a lot. Okay, so I'm going to spread that around there a little bit. I'm going to pick some up. And what am I feeling here? Right there. Okay, so let's spread that around. Get some nice textures with the palette knife. I may not have to do anything else after it. And then, yeah, right? I said do that. See, when you build up the textures, and by the way, the white that I put on here was pretty thick, so it's all bumpy and lumpy. And so when I do a whoosh like that, the palette knife catches on these bumps and makes little patterns. And you never know what those are going to be like, but it can be fun. Okay, so wow, this is... maybe I need to title this video, How to Make Really Ugly Acrylic Landscape Abstract Paintings, because that is... not that good. Okay, so I'm going to leave that alone. You know what, that is a big glop, but we're gonna let it dry and we'll call it texture when it's dry, right?